Are you ready?
You better get ready.
Get ready to dive into the heart of local sports action. Broadcasting live from the heartland of Missouri. Welcome to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN.
Get set.
Because it's time to catch up on the latest local highlights, in-depth analysis, and interviews from the Boot Heel and beyond.
Get set.
Here we go.
Welcome in. Good Saturday morning to you. It's the SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio, 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. How we doing? How we doing this morning, this weekend? Starting temperatures have, heated back up a little bit here towards the end of the week. We had a few days as far as a reprieve, but boy, had a busy week myself covering Cape Catfish. That was a lot of fun. We'll get into that. We'll lead things off with that here in just a moment. But, big things going on this weekend in Sikeston, right? The Sikeston Boot Heel Rodeo. I know a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances ended up going to the rodeo last night. Hopefully everyone had fun. Maybe you're just getting up, get your coffee going, and, kind of recovering from last night, right? But, that's always a cool thing. I know one of my earliest memories of going to a rodeo was at the Show Me Center, in fact. And I can remember, I was pretty young, but I can remember, bull getting loose, getting into the stands a little bit. I don't know that anybody was injured, but that's one of my earliest memories of going to a rodeo. I've been to the Sikeston Boot Heel Rodeo a few times. It's always a fun time. A lot of people, and it seems like it's always super duper hot, right? Of course, it's always the beginning of August, so it makes sense, but pretty cool event. If you've never gone, I would suggest going. It's just neat. And I'll play a little clip. This happened, I don't know if it was Thursday night or Friday night. I'm not sure. But anyway, towards the beginning here of the Boot Heel Rodeo in Sikeston, J.R. Stratford from Byers, Kansas. A little bull riding going on, and he's climbing up the standings, the world standings. Currently the number one bull rider at the Sikeston JC Boot Heel Rodeo. So we'll listen to his little highlight here real quick.
Can ride this bull. Ladies and gentlemen, it matters not what I say, it matters what you say. The first time in that bull's career that he has ever been ridden, the names he's bucked off, the big buck-offs he had, but he is unridden no more. And tonight, you just witnessed an 87-point ride.
How about that? So pretty cool. Again, that was J.R. Stratford at the Boot Heel Rodeo. So, again, just neat seeing some of those different things. Obviously, the bull riding, the headliner type things, and the bucking Broncos, the calf roping and all that stuff. So pretty cool. All right, let's turn from the rodeo. Let's turn to a little baseball. The Cape Catfish. All right, we've had a night or two to come down from that high, but the Cape Catfish win it on Thursday night. And the final game of the season, and it was the Cape Catfish winning 6-2 the final in Game 2 of the Prospect League Championship Series. They won Game 1 in Lafayette, Indiana on Tuesday night, and they won that game by a final score of 7-3. Won the game the other night 6-2, getting on the board early with a home run by Brett Vondelin and Apo Taco. We'll get into that in a moment, give you the highlights. But then after that, it was the Aviators ended up tying it. Top of the third, it was tied 1-1. Catfish scraped across another run in the fourth to give them a lead. Tank Sims was fantastic. He was fantastic in the game. And the big inning, though, came in the sixth. Tank Sims came through again. He was a 4 for 4 on the night. Just some big-time hits. Catfish all series long doing it with 2 outs, doing it with runners in scoring position. But listen to this. Tank Sims was named the playoff MVP. He finished the playoffs batting .571 with 8 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, 5 runs scored, and 7 runs batted in. Unbelievable. Tank Sims, the playoff MVP, of course, SEMO guy. And he was a guy batting 6-7 in the lineup for the Cape Catfish. That tells you how much depth that they had. But he was 4 for 4 with 3 runs batted in the game for the Cape Catfish. The former Cape Catfish, Brody Chrisman. Okay, Chrisman played for the Catfish back in 2023. Had a wonderful, wonderful year that year. And he led the Aviators with 2 hits, had a double and a run scored as well. But Chrisman played well. He loves Campahall. That was the first time he was back since the season ended back in 2023. And then in the 8th inning, Catfish added a couple of more runs, so made it, again, 6-2 at that time after the Aviators. They scored 1 run back in the top of the 8th. So at the time, okay, it was a 4-2 score. You think, okay, Aviators starting to come back. They're within striking distance, but those big 2 runs in the 8th inning, that was huge. Caleb Niehaus, Caleb Champion coming through with some big hits there. And that seemed like it just kind of put it out of reach because all series long, Aviators struggled to score. Catfish pitching was great. Dominant once again as they put the game away. And look, when they got to the back end of the bullpen, Catfish bullpen was lights out. Renard Grace, the SEMO guy, Trey O'Neill, which I've been told by coaches there for the Catfish, he's probably the guy that has the best shot to get drafted in the future because of how electric his are. He's a guy that throws 92, 93, 94. He was throwing 94 in the gun the other night. He was pumped up. And he's a skinny guy. Talking about, hey, if this kid can put on 20, 30 pounds, get him up to like 96, 97, I mean, this dude's getting drafted. So Trey O'Neill, keep an eye on that name because he was electric in the 8th. And then Walker Brott, the all-time saves leader. It wasn't a save situation, but he closed out every win in the playoffs for the Catfish. A guy that, listen to this story. So he goes to Winthrop, okay? He's got a couple years remaining, going to be a junior. He pitched quite a bit. He pitched, I think, 35 innings or so in the spring. Coach is talking to him, like, all right, we'll let you do some work in the summer, but we're gonna get to a certain innings count, and then we're gonna shut you down. Well, he met that, and that was still a couple weeks at least within the regular season left, and so after begging his coaches, hey, I got to stay. I got to be part of this team. This team's special. He talked him into it. He said, all right, I'll take a week and a half off before the end of the regular season. That way I can limit my innings, and then I'll come back and I'll finish off the playoffs. So that's what he did. He came back about the final week of the regular season, had an appearance or two, and then boom, into the playoffs, and he was awesome. So Walker Brott, congrats to him and all the Cape Catfish. But a great season. I loved covering the team. A big shout-out to Mark Hogan, the GM. Glenn Campbell, the president. Obviously, the Patels and Jim Limbaugh and everyone involved all the way up to the top. But I also want to say, look, this is one of the best coaching staffs that I've been around as far as the Cape Catfish as well. The manager, Gary McClure, did an outstanding job with this team. Colin Butkevich, an assistant coach, Wade Richardson, assistant coach. All 3 of them were great. They were great. They mixed and gelled well together. Some young and old, right? Coach McClure, very old school. You Wade and Colin, a little bit more new school. It was a good time. And what they were able to accomplish was pretty special. And just the second championship in franchise history. Look, this team is only 6 years old. 6 years for the Cape Catfish, and that's now their second championship of the last 4 after winning it in 2021. They win it here in 2025. So we're excited to see what the future holds. Listen to this. Catfish, they were 4-0 in the playoffs, okay? 4-0 in the playoffs. They won all 4 games in sweeping the championship series, but they outscored their opponent 21-9. 21-9 is what the Catfish did. And one of the, I guess it's a cool note, but, 18 teams in the Prospect League, right? But Catfish keeping the party low. Since 2019, there's only been 3 teams to win it. The Catfish, the Paints, they won it twice, and the Pistol Shrimp, they won it last year. So just the 3 teams since 2019 to win the Prospect League Championship. And the Catfish now, they're now 10-4 in postseason history. 223 wins now. 223 wins now in their franchise history to just 135 losses. But a 10-4 postseason record. And look, we mentioned the 6 years. They've only had 1 year they didn't make the playoffs. And that was in 2022. 26-23 record, the only season they were under 500. The last couple of years, look, it was rough because he had good teams, especially in 2023. So good. Had a 39-18 regular season record. They were so good. You thought they were going to make a run. But in 2023, 2024, they lost in the first round of the Throwbillies. 1 at home, 1 on the road. And so you're trying to get that monkey off the back, and that's what they did this year. So whenever they've got past the opening round, they've made it to the championship series every time. So in 2019, their inaugural season tied a Prospect League record with 43 regular season wins, and then they go on to play in the championship. But they end up losing to the Paints. They lost it here at home. Trace Smith, the former Sykeston player, was a big part of that for the Paints. Then in 2021, they went 4-1 in the playoffs, went to the championship, they beat the Aviators. And then here in 2025, they face off against the Aviators again and get the victory. So they're now 4-1 against the Aviators in their history, all of it coming in the championship series. But they win it at home, they clinch it at home. That was big. Home field advantage throughout for the Catfish, and just a great time for sure. How about the pitching? Sean Williams was excellent. Sean Williams, 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 Ks in the championship game. Renard Grace, the 2 innings of shutout ball. Trey O'Neill an inning, and Walker Broad an inning as well. So let's get to the highlights. Let's get to some of the highlights from the other night. On Thursdays, the Catfish win it here in 2025.
Vondelin hits it well to right field. Crispin going back near the fence. It is gone! Vondelin gets the scoring started for the Fish on a home run to right. And Apo Taco, 1-0 Fish. Flipped it into left.
Get down. It's down.
Yeah! It's a hit.
There's a little rib. Right there, Tanky. Right there, baby.
Glenn coming through for us.
Lenny's +1 tonight.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. It's been a while. I've been net zero a long time. That's big. He flipped it out there a while ago. There's 2 little flippers.
The 1-2. Fly ball to center. There is Champ. He gloves it. And the party is on in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Your 2025 Prospect League champions. 5 playoff appearances, 3 conference titles, and now 2 championships in franchise history. The dog pile is on, and the Fish swim all their way to a championship title. Congrats to the Cape Catfish. The last one standing here in 2025.
How about that? The Cape Catfish get it done here in 2025. Just a fun season. They celebrated afterwards, and congrats to a great, great season. And we're going to talk to one of the players for the Cape Catfish, and he's going to be going to SEMO this year. Moises Rosario is going to join us next here on the SEMO Scramble. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back in here on this Saturday morning. It's the SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN Radio, 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, and online at SEMOESPN.com. And we were just talking about the Cape Catfish winning their second championship in franchise history on Thursday night. And one of the players, and a big reason why, helped them all year long, was a catcher in Moises Rosario, and he's going to be sticking here in Southeast Missouri for a while. And Moises joins us now on our phone line. Moises, how's it going this morning, man?
I'm doing good. I first got to say thank you to you, Rusty, for letting me talk here, and also thank to God for everything. I'm good.
Glad to have you on this morning. So let's recap, man. Look, I guess we'll start from the beginning. So number one, look, you played last summer with the Cape Catfish. You decided to come back and came back for this year. Obviously, things didn't go well. You had a good team last year, but you fell in the first round of the playoffs. You decided to come back this year to Cape Girardeau, and the rest is history. But what helped you? One of the reasons why you wanted to come back to the area and decide, hey, I want to play for the Catfish again this year.
It's just the city. I've said it a couple of times. The city, my host mom. It's just the whole Catfish staff, from the guy that plays the music before the game to all the staff, all the president, Glenn Campbell, and like all the people that make it possible, made me feel like home. And I had the chance to go, and I had some people ask me to go and play for their team, other Paso League teams, but I was like, no, I'm coming back to Cape.
That's awesome. And just take us through the ride this year, man. I mean, you guys were good since the beginning from this summer. You've had great players. Look, but there's a number of guys that left. I mean, it's a couple of the guys in Dante and Jorge that went on to play, in the Pioneer League, and some guys got injured. Some guys just had to leave for whatever reason. So, but boy, you guys had a lot of depth, and no matter whoever ended up being inserted into the lineup or ended up putting in on the mound of the pitch, I mean, it seemed like everyone contributed and was a part of it. And I think that's more than anything this year. It seemed like, from my perspective, Moises, is that this truly was a team. It wasn't just one or two individuals that really carried this. I mean, everybody pulling the same rope. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's been a grind. It's been a grind for real. It's been great. It's been great to see how we overcome all the adversity we have. People getting injured. We had so many people getting injured, but I feel it all came down to have good competitors and have good chemistry. I feel blessed to play with this group of guys I played this year. They're just showing up every day. They're giving everything they got, and I think that's what wins championships. It's just to have a team that is willing to, no matter what happens, they're gonna give everything they got. They're gonna play for each other, and they're gonna be competitors. That's the main thing.
I want to take us back to Thursday night. Okay, you got a chance to catch, and you got to be a part of that championship, and you got to catch Sean Williams, that was so good on the mound this year, and a guy that he basically stepped in halfway through the summer, but he was so good. Talk about just you as a catcher, number one of your main priorities, right, is trying to get the starting pitcher ready and just helping the staff in general just to navigate them throughout the game the best you can. But how big was that? How much you guys prepared to get ready for that game on Thursday night, and just how you were able to accomplish that?
Preparation starts since that morning. That morning I texted him, and I was like, "Hey, Sean, are you ready to shove or what?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it. Like, that's where the preparation started. Then it's just about, like, before the game, you just talk to him about, like, visualizing us winning, and just talk to him about, like, what does he want to work on, like, giving some confidence. That's something I always try to do to my pitchers. I always try to give them confidence. I always try to just basically tell them that they're the best, that they're the guy that we needed, right? So, because I think confidence is a big thing in this sport, and that was basically it. I texted him in the morning. I told him like, let's do it today. We don't have to play another game, and let's just. And I kept telling him, like, just be yourself. You're good enough, and you gotta get the job done.
Look, and he would admit this, because I even talked to him after the game. He didn't have his best stuff on Thursday, but he battled. He kept you guys into the game. How was that, trying to navigate him through 5 innings when, he didn't necessarily have his good stuff in the game? But I've always seen this too, and coaches have said this about you. You are such a good communicator, and how, again, that you help, like you mentioned, trying to pump up your pitchers, encouraging them, and just helping them through.
I mean, it's just, I have a philosophy. I don't care how ugly it is. I know sometimes it gets ugly in the inning. You'll strike out a guy, you walk a guy, you hit a guy. But I always talk to the pitchers, and I tell them, like, hey, if you get a 0, that's all that matters. Like, I don't care how ugly it is. So, like, just get back in the mound, trust your stuff. You got us a 0, that's all that matters. You're giving us a chance. Because, like, with how good we were, how good our lineup was, we just needed a chance to compete. That's all we needed, and that's what he did. He competed. He stayed trusting his stuff, even though he wasn't at his best. But like I said, that's all he did. He competed, and I try to help him to compete in that aspect.
One of the things I wanted to bring up to you, so right there at the end of the game, last out, and I'll get your emotions here in just a minute about getting the victory, but I wanted to ask this first. I've seen a lot of people comment about it, and they're saying all good things about Moises Rosario here. When that ball was hit to center, your first reaction was not to just immediately run out to the pitcher's mound, start celebrating, throw your hands up, whatever. You turned around. Your first reaction after that ball was caught in center field by Caleb Champion to end the ball game, you turned around, you shook the hands of the umpire, and you thanked him. And I just thought that was great class, great respect, and, again, a lot of people have been talking about that on social media, how much they appreciated you doing that.
It's just something you learn along the way. The more I play, the more I learn about the game itself. When I first came to the States, I played the game, but, like, now I see the game with another eyes, like, I'm more mature in the game, and those are the kind of stuff that you always got to respect them. Like, they're humans. There's some missed calls. There's going to be some plays that you're going to be like, oh, it should have been an out. Oh, it should have been called the other way. But at the end of the day, like, you got to respect them because, like, they're back there with you. They're back there working with you. They're going to get hit by some baseballs, and it's a grind for them, too. Like, you got to respect them, and that's what it is. That's what it is. I feel like you got to respect the other team, but you also got to respect the umpires, no matter if they make some mistakes in the game. Yeah.
And look, that's part of the job of a catcher, right? Is massaging that relationship with the home plate umpire to help give your pitcher some calls, right? Yeah,
he was telling me as soon as we got to the 9th inning, he was talking to me about it. It's like, hey. If I don't get to shake your hand after the game, I mean, I'll probably see you at SEMO. And I was like, no, I'll shake your hand after. I'll shake your hand after we win the game, and that's what I did. Like, I always talk to him, and that's what people don't understand. That, like, people think that just because they miss a call, like, you can't really be mad. I mean, like, you can't really be showing them off because they're humans, like I said, and it's just like you got to have that relationship with them because that's just how baseball is.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the emotions of it. You guys get the victory. You guys do the dog pile after the game. You win. Prospect League champions. After you mentioned such a grind of a season, your bodies are beat up. You're tired. You're worn out, all the long bus rides. But you win it. You come out on top. What was the feeling like, and just what was that like doing it at home at Kappa Hall?
I mean, it meant a lot. It meant everything. This year has been a blessing for me. I've known so many good people. I won games. We won the Prospect League. The first thing I did was to get on my knees and give thanks to God. Because there's some, like, I'm not going to lie, there's some point in this season that I didn't think I was going to make it. Played 56 games in school, came to summer ball, played 31 games. It was the same way for a lot of the guys. Someone like, so I gotta give thanks to God. It was everything for us. I could see in him, Max was happy, staff was happy, Glenn, Hogan, everybody was happy because like we've been wanting this to happen since last year, and I know how bad they want it. For them, it's not just just a team, just a Prospect League team, just a summer ball team. Nah, for them it's like they really wanna bring some enjoyment to Cape, and like I know they're proud of us, and it meant everything for me.
How about the fans on Thursday night? I mean, it's one of the, if not, I think it was the biggest crowd that the Kappa Hall has had there for the Cape Catfish. I mean, close to 1,600 fans last. I mean, it was amazing. The atmosphere, the noise, just how much they were into it. I mean, how about the fan support that you received this year, especially on Thursday?
I mean, oh my God, fans, Cape Girardeau fans, the Cape Catfish fan base it's incredible. I like how they stay with us through the entire season. No matter if we lost a game, no matter if we got beat by 7, they just stay with us. They supported us the entire time, and it was incredible to see everybody showed up and support the Cape Catfish on that night. And one of the reasons why we do it is for them. You know, like it felt great to win at home and to do it for the fans.
Absolutely. How much did you enjoy playing under the coaching staff this year? And Wade and Wade Richardson, Colin Butkevich, the 2 assistant coaches, and then Gary McClure, the manager. How much fun did you have playing under them?
It was fun, definitely. Gary is one of those guys that he's so experienced in the game, like he knows the game. You know, like he knows the game. He was one of those guys that he knew when to make jokes. He knew when to play around, like with the guys, when to say funny stuff. But he also was a guy that he cared about winning a lot, which I respected. And he knew when to be strict. And so we have Wade. Wade was incredible. He was always there. He was always available for us. He was kind of like a team. He was like another player, I'll say.
Yeah.
We respected him as a coach, but he was kind of like a player. He's really young, and like we respected him, and he was just there all the time. And calling is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. He's got a lot of knowledge, and he always said like good stuff. Like he tried to help you all the time, and like I said, I'm really thankful that I got to be coached by those guys.
Just a few more questions for you. We'll get to you signing with SEMO here in a minute, but wanted to ask you about just when you look back later on, maybe even next summer, next year, or whatever. And you look back at this summer, what's going to stand out? Obviously, winning the championship, but other than that, what's going to stand out about this summer to you?
It's just how everybody competed. That's all I'll say. How everybody competed. How all the guys gave everything they got. That's and how unified we were as a team. That's it. Besides all the blessings I've had this summer, it's just that, like, the competitiveness and the guys showing up every day. That's what is going to stand out.
And look, man, you're going to have some lifelong friends now because of some guys you met this summer. And unfortunately, though, there's going to be some guys that probably you're never going to see again either. But look, you mentioned it, though. It's a brotherhood you guys are going to have for life now. You're linked. You're going to have those rings coming, right? Those championship rings. So
yeah.
I'm so happy about that for you guys. I want to say congrats so much. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Last couple things here, and we'll let you go. I know you're on the road. You make the decision. I know it wasn't an easy process going through some different schools. You entered the portal. You played at Oakland City, but you wanted to. It seemed like you were linked here to Cape Girardeau, right? You played here for a couple of summers, and it just, God works out sometimes, right? He opened the door for you. Things opened up, and you have a spot here to play in Cape Girardeau. You sign, you get along with the coaching staff, and just how excited are you to get going and to stay here in Cape Girardeau and be playing for the SEMO Redhawks this coming season?
This is always a dream. Since last year, I remember when I played, I used to be, remember Brooks from SEMO. He's one of those guys that I'll be always saying, like, hey, bro, I want to be a SEMO guy one day. I want to be a SEMO guy. Like, what if I'm a SEMO guy? This is always a dream. This is always something that I wanted to happen. I've said it so many times. I love the city. I think I got everything I need. I'm just excited. I gotta give a big shout out to my host mom, which she's been there all the time for me. She's making it possible and helping me, supporting me. A big shout out to Hogan, to Sawyers, to Andy for trusting me, and for all the guys, all the SEMO guys that they've showed up and they've supported me. It's just the beginning.
That's good stuff, man. We're so happy that you're going to be able to stay here and that you love it here. And again, like you said, I want to echo that. Thank you to your host family on providing a way and helping you out as well. I mean, just amazing what they've been able to do. So, hey, we're actually talking to you on her phone here right now. So, thanks, brother, man. Again, congrats on everything, on what you guys are able to accomplish, and we look forward to you in a Redhawks uniform, man.
Thank you. Hey, and let's win the LVC now.
That's
do it. I've been telling on this. I was like, hey, I'm 2 for 2. I went to the NAI opening round last year, won the Cape Catfish, the Prospect League championship now. Let's win the LVC now.
Let's do it. All right, man. Moises, appreciate it, man. Stay in touch, and we'll talk to you later.
See you. Thank you, Rusty. Have a good day.
All right, you too, man. All right, that is Moises Rosario here on SEMO ESPN, and appreciate him for joining us here this morning. Good stuff from him. Just a cool story. Another guy that, we talked about Jorge Romero before, about he was a guy that came here from California, ended up loving it, and decided to stay, and he's going to come back. He's going to come back is Jorge Romero after spending some time in the Pioneer League, and he wants to come back in the area. And just pretty special. Same thing with Moises Rosario. Look, man, I mean, he's a guy from the Dominican Republic. He came over to the States. He's played here in college. And he's found himself a home away from home in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and pretty special what this place has been able to do. And I hope everyone, or at least most of you, have been able to get a chance to go there to Cape Girardeau and spend some time watching some catfish. But hopefully this will help propel them and get them better for years to come as well. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We went long. I'm sorry about that, but I had a good time talking with the Moises. We're going to talk a little Cardinal baseball coming up next. Welcome back in. SEMO Scramble here on SEMO ESPN. Again, big thanks to Moises Rosario, and excited to watch him at SEMO. But good interview there, and I really appreciate his time this morning. But let's turn to Major League Baseball. Cardinals playing against the one of the front runners in the division. You know, the Milwaukee Brewers overcame the Cubs. They're now leading the division, but the Cubs still in a playoff spot. And, they have a chance to still win the division. 66-48 heading into the game last night were the Cubs. But it was the Cardinals that picked up the shutout last night, winning 5-0. Michael McGreevy was excellent. But first, before we get into the game, I wanted to play this clip. Interesting thing last night, the Cardinals broadcast doing a little man-on-the-street type thing with a little kid in the stands and a guy and Bradley, I believe was his name, that wants to be an umpire. And he dressed in the full umpire gear last night. They talked to him. Jim Hayes doing the job there for FanDuel Sports Midwest. And it was pretty cool last night, seeing him and part of the broadcast. And they did a little interview, and they had him, even live as well, put a mic in front of his face with his mask on. And while play was going on, he was umpiring the game from the stand. So listen in.
Now this is regional cable television. You will be getting your big league debut on TV. All right, so make these calls. Get that mask on. Right here.
2-2. Ball. Inside. 3-2. Full count.
This kid's a master.
Castro with the flip to second.
All right, good job by that youngster helping things out in the stands. Again, that was a cool moment last night. All right, now let's get to the game. Cardinals win it 5-0. Michael McGreevy was excellent, a nice bounce back. He's now 4-2 with a 4.40 ERA. 6 innings last night, 6 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He pitched well. Swanson, Romero, O'Brien shut the door as well. 7-8-9. That's kind of their big three now in the bullpen. O'Brien, nice to see him. He's starting to carve out a row at the back of the bullpen, and he's got a lot of potential. Nice to see him. And that's part of it here. The final 2 months of the season, Cardinals going to be out of it. Now, they are game over 500 now. Hey, well, game over 500. But look, they're not making the playoffs. They punted on the season at the trade deadline. That was the right decision. All right, we talked about that before. But these last couple of months, you want to evaluate, and you want to be right and figure out what you have in the players that you have. Who do you want to stick with? Who do you want to move on from? Those are the types of decisions you want to be able to make over the final couple of months and evaluate, okay? But last night, after Michael McGreevy pitched well, giving this team a chance, it was Jordan Walker that had a big night for the Cardinals and got things started for them at the plate.
Second and third, nobody out.
And Jordan Walker, 3 for his last 5.
On the ground, deep short. Dansby Swanson drops it. A run is in. Walker comes through. It's 1-0.
This is 108 miles an hour off the bat of Jordan Walker. Dansby Swanson gets leather on it, saves a run probably with the speed of Mason Wynn. Cardinals on the scoreboard finally again.
So they get on the scoreboard, 1-0, and they add to it a little bit later in the game. Wilson Contreras at the plate for the St. Louis Cardinals, courtesy of FanDuel Sports Midwest.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes Hampson around third. Hamp's throw will be cut off. And now they've got Contreras in a rundown between first and second, and he'll be tagged out. But how about the Cardinals? Couple of sacrifice bunts, a sac fly, and a big 2-out hit.
So 3-0 after the hit there from Contreras. That's all they needed. But then in the next frame, that was in the 5th. But in the 6th inning, boy, this was fun. Jordan Walker, liftoff time.
Just glows as that ball blasted by Walker, deep left. Jordan Walker has extended the lead. That one's been, Brad, a long time coming.
So Walker with a deep home run over the bullpen in left field. This is the first home run since May the 17th for Jordan Walker. So much needed there. Walker, look, if you look under the hood, he's gotten some help, little Babbitt help from after coming back from the injury and back from the injured list, but he's been playing well. He's been batting right around 300 at the plate since he came back. His first home run there. But look, in his last 7 games, he's batting .333. 9 hits, 4 runs batted in. In his last 15 games, just about as good. .327 average, .373 on base with a .455 slug. Has a number of doubles, I think 1 triple as well during that stretch. So Jordan Walker, that is good to see. He's 23, folks. 23 years old, Jordan Walker. He's a guy that needs to play. He needs to play down the stretch. And he's one of those guys that, to me, coming into the season, Jordan Walker, Nolan Gorman, those are the 2 guys I wanted to figure out, okay, who are they? And they need to play to figure that out. And that's still the case here towards the final couple of months. I want to know about Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman because I still don't fully know about them. Is Jordan Walker a guy that can take flight later on and figure it out and be a core piece? I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but could he be a really good player down the road? I mean, he has so much potential. Again, he's only 23. He's a guy that should be playing in college. And then Nolan Gorman, similar age, a lot of potential. He's never going to be a guy that's going to hit 300, Nolan Gorman. But look what Kyle Schwarber's doing this year and what he has done in his career. Look, he's not going to be the on-base guy that Schwarber is. He doesn't walk that much. But my point is, can he hit 25 to 30 home runs? Can he bat around 240? And can he play serviceable defense? I mean, that's what I want from Nolan. Can you do that? And that's a good piece. That's a good piece to have. So, again, find out what you have in these guys the final couple of months. Let them play. I'm excited for that. And Ollie Marmol in a recent interview talked about, Jordan Walker, that he's made some adjustments, that he has really worked with Brant Brown, the hitting coach, and that he, since the beginning, and that they've had a plan, and he stuck with it. Some injuries have derailed him a little bit. But he's that even Ollie is saying that, hey, I'm seeing, increments of progress. It's slow. It's taken time, but I'm seeing progress. And hopefully that continues. And speaking of Ollie, maybe the biggest news before the game last night was Ollie and allowing, or, I guess he wasn't the one that had the invite, but he accepted the invite from Yadier Molina. As Molina, according to Ollie, said that Molina sent him a text earlier in the year and said, hey, I'm going to be in town, in early August. Is it okay if I come and, be in uniform? And Ollie's like, yes, come on. So Yadier Molina was there last night in uniform in the dugout. He's going to be there again tonight. So for these 2 days, and that's great. The first time that he has been back since he retired. And that, I think that's a great thing. Now, a lot of people, including myself, maybe a little bit, you start those thoughts creep in as like, I kind of like this Ollie or Yadier Molina in the dugout for the Cardinals as part of a staff. Right? Those thoughts creep in. I have no idea what's going to happen in the offseason with Chaim Bloom taking over. Is Ollie going to stay? He's going to be kind of a lame duck manager because he's going to be in his final year of his contract. Next year will be his final year. So generally speaking, that's when you start having those contract talks. Or do you move on? Does Chaim Bloom want his own guy? Could Yadier Molina be a guy to be a manager? Could it be someone else? Skip Schumacher doesn't have a job right now. Maybe Daniel Descalso putting in his time as a bench coach. Maybe you want him. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe off the street, Chaim Bloom says, hey, I came from Boston. I really liked Alex Cora. Let's pick him off. I don't know, right? It'll be interesting to see. I will say this. I've never been a huge Ollie fan, but I do think he's done a good job this year. I think he's gotten better. As started in 22, 23, 24, now 25, so 4th year. I think he's gotten better year by year. I think he's had a pretty good year. Like, there's still things that I'm frustrated with. Some of the lineup construction, some of the guys, I get it. But for the most part, especially the way he handles a bullpen, I think he does a good job. I really do. And he's not perfect. I think he's an average, maybe slightly above average manager. That's what he is. But, again, part of the job here is developing, getting the most out of your players. And I think Ali is well respected and liked in that dugout for sure. But the Cardinals get it done, 5-0. They play tonight, 6:15 game against the Cubs. They'll play again at 6:10 on Sunday night. I think that's an ESPN game. Yep, it is on Sunday. This will be a game on Fox tonight. So Big Fox tonight. It'll be Cubs and Cardinals. That should be fun. And again, what is Jordan Walker? That's one of the big questions down the stretch. But I want to see him playing. Can he be a guy that sticks with the Cardinals? Or he's a guy that you float out there, maybe you decide to trade in the offseason because you feel like, all right, this guy, he's never going to live up to what we expect or want. We'll see. He is a guy that I would like to hang on, I think. I think he's a guy that I would like to see him have another year or two to try to figure it out. He needs playing time, though. He needs to play. So he's a guy that I'm going to keep my eye on for sure here down the stretch. But should be fun. Cubs, Cardinals at Busch for the rest of the weekend. All right, we'll take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look around baseball. Babe Ruth World Series commencing as well. How do the Charleston Fighting Squirrels do? Little Kansas City Chiefs playing here this afternoon as well. A little preseason. We'll talk all about that coming up next here on the SEMO Scramble. Back here in the SEMO ESPN studios, SEMO Scramble. And I want to talk about the Babe Ruth World Series going on, the 18 and up in particular World Series. Okay, there is, I don't know the exact amount, maybe 15, 16 teams, something like that, for the 18 and up. There are 4 different pools. So I guess around 20 teams, actually. That was a part of the Babe Ruth World Series from around the country and around the world. Mexico was there, Australia, the Philippines, okay, United Kingdom, Asia Pacific, Nigeria was there, Chinese Taipei, Canada. I mean, so again, a number of teams from around the world, and then obviously some teams in the United States as well, and 2 Missouri teams. So again, the Dexter Youth is what they were coined as, but out of Sykeston, right? GSR Elite was the team that made it. They won the Missouri State Championship. They went 1-3 in the tournament, so they did not make it to the bracket round. They didn't get out of pool play, but it's still a wonderful year for GSR Elite. What they were able to accomplish this year was pretty impressive, and they were in a tough pool because both Gulf Coast Alabama and Manassas Virginia were very, very good teams. So in a tough pool for sure. And then the Charleston Fighting Squirrels out of pool play. They're in Pool B, and they were 4-0, 4-0 in pool play, plus 31 run differential during pool play. But when you get to bracket play, then it's single elimination. You got to keep winning. And so how it works in bracket play, you have the 4 pools. So each one of the winner of the pools, they get basically a first-round bye in the bracket, and they get to be a part of it. Then it's the second team out of the pools, generally speaking, teams that win 3 out of 4 games. They make it as well. However, they'll have to do the play-in. So, for example, A versus D, B versus C, whatever. And they get going. So Charleston in their first round ended up facing off against Manassas, Virginia. And they ended up falling 17-5, the final score. So it ended the season. That happened on Thursday. But congrats to the Charleston Fighting Squirrels. a good year. It was fun. And winning it all this year was the Hanford, California team. So out of California, Hanford, California are the victors as they get the championship with a 6-4 final over Gulf Coast, Alabama. And that's the team that won it this year. So wanted to mention that. And Babe Ruth season has come to an end, but boy, Michael Minner and his bunch does such a great job for the Squirrels, and pretty cool what they were able to accomplish. All right, later on today, 6 o'clock, preseason football. Kansas City Chiefs at the Arizona Cardinals. You can listen to the game on our sister station, KGCQ. So Real Rock 99.3. They'll have the call. Mitch Holtis and company will have it. So check that out. The Chiefs getting ready. Some big things. Some of them talking about. They're going to have 4 quarterbacks play. Mahomes is going to get the first quarter. Then we'll have, Gardner Minshew coming in the second, Bailey Zappi in the third, and then Chris Oladokun will get the final. So a lot of depth there at quarterback, and some former starters as well. And Zappi and Minshew will get some time after Mahomes. And one of the things we're going to be looking at, how's the offensive line holding up, and how's some of the improvements there as well. So Chiefs getting ready to go for football. Another sport getting ready. How about SEMO soccer? Women's soccer, they're picked 9th in the OVC this year to predicted finish. It'll be the first year for head coach John Klein for the Redhawks. And the one player on the soccer watch list, the OVC women's watch list, the junior midfielder Justy Nelson. So Nelson will look into her and how she does this year. But again, they'll get things started on Thursday, August the 14th in Cape Girardeau with a kickoff slated at 6 p.m. as they will begin their season, the Southeast Missouri State Redhawks soccer team. So good luck to them this year. And last thing before we end is whip around a little Major League Baseball. It was the Dodgers and the Blue Jays last night. 2 future Hall of Famers squaring off. Max Scherzer for the Blue Jays, Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. It was Kershaw that outdueled Scherzer last night to get the victory. Kershaw went 6 innings, giving up just the 1 run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, scattered 7 hits. Scherzer was very good as well, but gave up a big home run in the game. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, but it was the Dodgers winning 5-1 over the Blue Jays last night. Again, 2 future Hall of Famers going after it last night. All right. That's going to do it from the SEMO Scramble. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great weekend. We'll talk a little preseason football in the next couple of weeks for high school. That's coming up towards the end of the month. And we'll get into some different sports. We've been baseball heavy, but we'll get into some other sports coming up. But stay with us. Regular programming here on SEMO ESPN. Have a good rest of your Saturday, everybody.
You've been listening to the SEMO Scramble on SEMO ESPN. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 for a dash of hometown pride right here on the SEMO Scramble. Yes, don't miss the latest news, scores, and stories that matter most to local sports enthusiasts. From the Boot Heel and beyond. Right here on SEMO ESPN 1220 AM, 93.5 FM, the SEMO ESPN app, and at SEMOESPN.com.